Hey guys, GameChops here to be your judge, your jury, your analyst, and today I bring to you my early meta-analysis for the Flying Cup. So the Flying Cup is pretty simple. It's literally in its name. The only thing that allowed are flying types. If it has wings, if it's somehow classified a flying type like Gyarados, despite the fact that it doesn't have wings and somehow floats in the air and is able to fight, that is eligible for the Flying Cup. So, make sure your flying Pokemon are allowed. Some of you have actually played this cup, except it's been such a long time since it's been out, but there haven't really been much changes. After a lot, now that I think about the pre-analysis before I did this, there really isn't a lot of changes at all. If you have the Pokemon in this cup that I mentioned, you're probably going to be very well off, and you're going to get your sets done very, very quickly. So, with that being said, before we get started, this is my therapist mental health tip of the day. So, my therapist mental health of the day is actually going to be... The reason I pause so much is because it's okay to fight for what you are and have a little small group of friends. You know what's funny? This is actually going to come from the Batman quote. I watched the Batman yesterday with my brother and my sister, but like this is what Two-Face says. What's worth more the less you have? Friends. So, you don't need a huge crowd of friends to be very, very happy. More so than not, the happiest people in the world are ones that actually have that one or two really great friends that they can vibe with. Even if it's one friend that's another person you can talk to and another person that you can share good times with. Just like with the community-wise. For example, I would think of myself, or a pretty supposedly like popular person in the Pogo PvP subgroup verse. I don't say community because we aren't really a community, we're a bunch of subgroups. But here's the thing, I am perfectly fine with being on my own with my small group of friends. I value my small group of friends. I value my teammates, Country Nerd and Battle Bill, as well as everybody from Rebel. I do value that small group. I don't care to be popular. I don't care to be popular. I will not speak for everyone. I will not do so for the sense of the legal sense, but I will not. You speak for yourself. You vibe with who you want to vibe with, and it doesn't have to be huge. More so than not, we look at these popular kids, and this is because I do therapy for a lot of adolescents, so luckily a lot of them I really haven't to do this too much. But when you have popular kids, you look yourself, why aren't like them? They like everyone, even everyone likes them, etc. like that. You don't need to be liked by a lot of people. You can be by yourself, you can do by yourself, and like I mentioned, worth a lot when you have those friends that are willing to stick with you, because usually those friends that recognize you are worth keeping around, even though you don't have a lot of people around you, are going to be very loyal and very good to you. But yes, friends are very good to your health, but you don't need a lot of them. I am very fortunate and very, very grateful to have the community I have now. My community is amazing. I love all y'all, and I do love my friends. And you don't have to have a lot of them, because they can help you fly to super high heights. You don't need a lot of people around. Without further ado, this is my early meta-analysis for the Flying Cup. Alright, so here's the two-shot scenario. Again, many of you probably didn't play the Flying Cup. It's been a very long time since it's been out, but there has been very minimal changes. So it's not going to take me very long to skim through this, but in case you forgot, or if you've never played the Flying Cup before, here's what we got. Any flying type is allowed, so as long as it's a flyer, it's good to go. And in the 2-shield, the greatest thing since sliced bread has essentially been Aerodactyl. Regular or shiny are the best ones, and the reason why it's so good is because it literally has no hard losses. The thing about Aerodactyl, it is so godforsakingly powerful in this cup, and it's really, really good. The only thing that gives you a hard time though, well, there is one thing other than other Aerodactyls, is actually Skarmory with Steel Wing. The reason why people use Steel Wing Skarm is because of the fact it absolutely wipes out Aerodactyl Shadow in the 2-shield. So you might see people using Skarmory with Steel Wing in this meta. It's very, very powerful, very, very good. And again, Steel Wing Skarmory, pretty much there to lock in Aerodactyl. Will destroy Articuno hard as heck, and Togekiss as well. Naltaria, that Shadow Aerodactyl absolutely blows and destroys everything up shield, or it can just max you down to oblivion. Other than Aerodactyl, the other picks you hear is Articuno. I actually used an Articuno, and in the past previous top teams, there was an Articuno in one team. Articuno is very strong for its ability to take out pretty much most of the double weakers like Gligar as well as Altaria and Gliscor. It loses hard against Aerodactyl and Togekick and Togetic, and of course Togekiss. Skarmory, if it has Stealing, will give you an incredibly hard time. Also with Air Slash. But yes, Articuno is able to create debuff plays. 2 shield strats with things like Togetic, it's good, but in all honesty, instead of getting a Togetic or a Togekiss, seriously, like just use Aerodactyl. It's much easier to just use Aerodactyl, and the thing with Aerodactyl, you can actually use a single moved Aerodactyl. You don't actually need to build a double move one. That one, Ancient Power should be enough, and in few instances, you really need a double moved Aerodactyl. In other words, Aerodactyl is better. In the 2 shield, Aerodactyl will reign supreme against most matchups. Unless it's Stealing Skarmory, like I mentioned, it should destroy and annihilate most of everything in the 2 shield scenario. This is why you'll see most Aerodactyls in the lead, or like I mentioned, Stealing Skarmory in the lead against Aerodactyl. Lead with it, you could also do things like Emolga, etc. However, generally Aerodactyl will pretty much destroy everything to oblivion, even things like Emolga. You could try a 2 shield, you could try to break shields, etc. You could try to like break his shields, Aerodactyl shields, and then come out with the W that way. But generally, as you see here, even if Emolga has something really strong, Rockthrow will just absolutely obliterate you and force you to force you out. So you could, there's a strategy you could do where you could like basically like sack your lead, break your opponent's shields, farm down the Aerodactyl, and they annihilate their back row. But generally, in the 2 shield, the one thing that is king is definitely Aerodactyl, or like I mentioned, Stealing Skarmory. Those are the 2 big ones. Now, you can still see things like Altaria, etc. But most of the time, you will see this evil destroyer of worlds, Aerodactyl, in the lead in the 2 shield. Alright, we did the 2 shield, now the 1 shield. And the 1 shield, guess what? Shadow Aerodactyl ends your life faster than you could say. I'm just kidding. The interesting thing is, in Shadow Aerodactyl, the only thing that really, well, again, it's Stealing Skarm. So if you do Stealing Skarm against Shadow Aerodactyl, this is what you're gonna get. Stealing Skarmory, you put it over here, and then you go against Aerodactyl. You could use the Shadow one, the regular one works too. There's not a superior difference between both of them. It's just really up to you. Generally, you want to use the regular one anyway, just because you don't want to spend that dust. But I see in the 2 and the 1 shield, unless you're in the zeros, Skarmory still wins. So Stealing Skarm. But in the 1 shield, other things do come up like Emolga and Zapdos. So in the 1 shield, Emolga and Zapdos are 2 of the fastest charging mons in the game when it comes to the Flying Cup, which is why you see Emolga and Zapdos both being here. In fact, you might see Emolga and Zapdos both on the same team because they're that freaking good. A Stealing Skarmory's worst nightmare is in fact an Emolga and a Zapdos, because of the fact that Emolga for some reason resists electric types. So yeah. I don't know why Thunder lists Steel, but like it's what it is. So if you're Stealing Skarm, you're gonna get resisted by Emolga and Zapdos. So that's why Emolga and Zapdos in the back actually worked. And me using Zapdos before, it's really strong. Unfortunately, Mandibuzz is still also good in the 1 shield as well. The only problem is it gets absolutely fried by Emolga, Zapdos, and of course gets smacked to the death by Aerodactyl Shadow. Those rock throws are going to hurt a lot, and in the 1 shield, it's really not much of a difference. But this is why shield breaking strats work. As in, you could break Aerodactyl Shadow shields, and then you can come in with things like Zapdos and Emolga, and just absolutely rip your opponent's head off. It's a very good combination, and again, in the 1 shield, Emolga and Zapdos are probably the best ones you'll get. Other than that, it's Shadow Aerodactyl. If you don't have a Zapdos, Emolga is probably your cheapest option, but generally there's some other picks like Gligar, Gyarados, Dragonite with Dragon Breath is also another pick, Pelipper with Weather Ball. Generally, we won't see Pelipper with Weather Ball just because of the fact that Aerodactyl will smack you to unholy hell, and if you do get Emolga or Zapdos, you are double weak to Electric. So again, 1 shield, Emolga, Zapdos, you got Altaria in there as well, but generally, Aerodactyl still reigns supreme. Alright, and now we got the closer. When shields are down, your Pokemon go to town. And in this instance, remember I was talking about Emolga and Zapdos? Well, guess what? The closer Emolga and Zapdos are 2 of the most powerful mons in the game. Reason being is they get their charge moves so incredibly fast, and they absolutely annihilate everything in their path. It's completely shocking, you know what I mean? 69,000 volts, or it's over 9,000 volts of absolute destruction. And of course, what are flying type Pokemon weak to? Electric types. Which is why Emolga and Zapdos are incredibly powerful. The thing about Altaria is that Altaria is going to close as well because it's 8th tier anti-Emolga and Zapdos. Even though it takes neutral damage, Altaria is such a beast because it takes neutral damage, it's incredibly tanky. The only problem is, of course, Aerodactyl and things like Skarmory do give Altaria a hard time. Not to say in the previous top teams, Altaria wasn't really great. So Altaria is also another great pick for the Flying Cup. Drifblim's also a great pick for the reason of its ability to absolutely wipe out Zapdos and Aerodactyl as well in the zeros. In the 2-shield, Aerodactyl will destroy most of everything. Did I see Drifblims the last time Flying Cup around? Yes, I saw the Drifblims, but it was kind of confusing. This time around, you're definitely going to see Emolgas. Emolgas have been around for a lot. Zapdoses are also out there. If you're willing to Elite TM for Thundershock, Zapdos is great, and it is also a beast. And will get you a lot of dubs, and will also allow you to pair it with Emolga to create the strongest ABB team. Double Bs literally is Zapdos. Zapdos and Emolga are the strongest back row in the freaking game, or when it comes to the Flying Cup. So expect to see those two. Other than that, in the closer, not too many things are effective, just because a lot of things in the closer outside of Emolga and Zapdos are not as fast as the rest, as basically those two. Everything else is either super slow, or the fact that Emolga and Zapdos do outpace the rest of the meta, which makes it really, really good, including this Volibee XL, which for number 15, if you do have an XL Volibee, I don't know how you do it, and I don't want to be you, because this thing's really expensive. But yes, in the closer, the two electric types reign supreme. Emolga and Zapdos. You still have a lot of other filler things, but of course when shields are down, whoever has the charge move in the end and gets there first will be the victor. And that's GG's. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yes, it really is that stale. The good thing about this meta, you're going to run through your sets incredibly fast. So, if you're looking to complete your battles for no other reason, or you want to tap your way to victory, this is essentially the only meta where tap is essentially encouraged, because literally the one thing that's going to blow through your line is probably an Aerodactyl. You will either have Aerodactyl or kill Aerodactyl, and you're going to kill very many of them in this cup. So, that or you're going to have Stealing Skarmory, because if you lock in Stealing Skarmory against Aerodactyl, then it's game. Or if your Stealing Skarmory is locked against an electric type, you're probably going to cry, because they're going to zap you to death and electrocute your poor Turb and turn it into Culver's chicken. By the way, I realized someone from my community actually commented and said Culver's has spicy chicken. Culver's spicy chicken. I can't wait to try it, and I need to try it. But do me a huge favor, before I try Culver's chicken, and hopefully I get there one of these days soon, please like and subscribe. It's totally free. You can totally do that by just that little box up on right to subscribe from over there. Really appreciate my current subscribers. Really do appreciate y'all day in, day out, because like I mentioned, I love my group, I love my community, I love y'all, and I appreciate you for all the support and everything I do. I also stream on Twitch on Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, 6:30, 7:30 a.m. PST. I usually don't play Pogo on there nowadays because it's the interlude season. Usually I'm playing Pokemon Go Community, or Pokemon Community game. Not really playing, I'm waiting till basically the season ends. So, and then I'll try again next season and play PCG off of that. But if y'all do love me streaming, or you want to talk, or if you have any questions, I'm definitely on there chilling, and I will get back to do my sets one of these days. Maybe. But either way, if you do enjoy my content, I will do Pogo full-time on YouTube. So, well, not full-time content creator, but I mean, YouTube is mostly Pogo. Our Pogo is going to continue on the YouTube as all of you. So if you are happy and you already subscribed to YouTube, guess what? YouTube content will stay consistent for the longest time. And yeah. But without further ado, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. This is my early meta for the Flying Cup. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Good luck in y'all Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.